Hello, Evan here. This video is going to be sort of an about me video, and more specifically, it's going to be an about video. And more specifically, it's going to be um, about my experience being autistic, and and I like to think of it as like my like my little my tiny sliver of the autistic of the overall experience known as that I call the autistic experience. Um, yeah, and I Yeah, and it's my tiny sliver because um, each person who is autistic, like their experiences are all different. Like with similarities, mind you, like that's sort of what sort of like groups us together, like to an extent. But not everybody has all the same sort of similarities. I think it's important to note that, especially if this happens to be like one of your first videos, like watching any sort of content about autistic people, from autistic people, and for everyone, including autistic people. And so, yeah, my topic of the day is this: autistic adults still stim too. And you might be wondering what stimming is. Stimming is basically, it's basically a shorthand, abbreviation. Basically, it's basically an abbreviation for stimulation and like self-stimulation, like self-stimming, like self-stimulation, self-stim, and then we just shorten that to stim or stimming. And so anytime that you see somebody rocking back and forth, like I am right now, because I feel a bit anxious, um, actually significantly anxious, or any time that we like flap our hands, or any, oh, sorry, sorry about that, or anytime we flap our hands, or anything like that. I'm really sorry if you have headphones and you had to like live through that. Sorry about that. But yeah, flapping hands and humming or singing. I can't freaking stand you. No, like that's a Logic line from a hey, um from his song like AO. I'm not going to explain exactly how that like got into my mind, but like it's hey, hey, that particular sense of singing and what I was saying, like it wasn't directed at you. It's like I actually think you're really awesome. um, uh, uh, and I think you're really awesome inherently, not just because you're watching this video, but just in general. I think if you're a human being, you're pretty dang awesome because you could be a lot of different things in this universe. You could be a Kleenex, you could be a remote control, but you're a person. Isn't that cool? I think it's cool. And I think it's cool because humans are awesome. And so if you're human and you're watching this, I think you're awesome. Or if you're sentient at all and you're watching this, I think you're awesome. Anyways, so the thing is, another important thing to know about stimming is that every single human being does self stimulation, whether it be as simple as scratching your face or touching your face or anything like that, or like scratching your skin, or do I have a pen or something? Or hold on. Or clicking a pen, something like that. Um, I have a love hate relationship with this pen, either way. Um, but yeah, the thing is that um, If you chew on pen caps or anything like that, or if you used to do that, that counts as stimming as well. Like that's a mouth stim. It's it's somewhat similar to what dogs do when they're teething, but like that's not exactly. I feel like I feel like it's a bit more nuanced for dogs than it is for people because we're not trying to like we're not trying to cut our teeth on stuff. It's more so like a somatic sensory stimulation slash exercise to help us to stay regulated. And the thing is that whenever you think about it that way, like it's my hope that it's as like with that knowledge, the fact that everybody like sims whether they're like autistic or allistic, which allistic is a word that means non-autistic. So someone could be so you have autistic people here, but then you could also have like a person who's neurotypical, not neurodivergent, and they're autistic. But then you could also have someone who experience or who's ADHD, like but not autistic, and they're also autistic, but they're also neurodivergent. And so again, it's like if you want me to, I can make a video like where I break down the terminology of all this stuff because again, like it was sort of because again, it was sort of confusing to me too, but especially at first. But either way, um, yeah. So basic and the thing and the thing is that I don't want this video to be super duper long. I just sort of wanted to share like one like the sentiment that I'm sharing with y'all, which is that autistic adults still stem too. It's not just something that you see autistic children doing. In fact, the only reason that you see autistic children doing it is because we start doing it very, 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 very early on in life. Because the thing is that no child, like, if a child or a person in general is born autistic, they don't become any more or less autistic the day, like, from the day that they're born. It's like that doesn't really change. Either you are or you aren't. And the thing is that a lot of people, it's like, oh, but the symptomology. But the thing is that, like, at the end of the day, the symptomology that you're talking about, like, or as I call them, autistic traits, like, essentially, these traits were always sort of like written in the code of the autistic person, like at any given point in their life, or like and could be triggered at any given point and could be triggered at any given point in their life. But the thing to keep in mind is that he, but the thing to keep in mind is that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing inherently wrong with being autistic. Like really, the only reason that people see it, eh, the thing is that like, and the reason there's nothing wrong with being autistic is because it's really just a clinical description of a brain wiring, of a type of brain wiring. And it's not a defective brain wiring. Like if you it's not a defective brain wiring. Like if you've seen some of my other videos, and you'll find that it's like I'm not a defective person. I'm just a different person. I just have a different like it's like my neurology is different, but it's not to say that it's like disordered. The only reason that it's even seen as being disordered is because we live in a world that one is intolerant of different, and that fears different people, and two, um, well, no, I lost my train of thought. um, and two, Um, and two, and two, wait, and two, we need to understand that. Wait, hold on. So the only reason that people in my neurotype, the autistic neurotype, are seen as being disordered is because we live in a world that one fears like different people and doesn't know how to work with people who are different from the neuro like, um like we live in a world slash we have built a world that doesn't like that one fears different, and two, like they don't understand like exactly how to help me as an autistic person get my needs met in like a systemic way. And so it's a systemic problem. It's a societal issue. But the thing is that it took me a long time to realize that regardless of what these doctors tried to tell me and my parents and my sister and all these other different people in my life, I am not a disordered person. I'm not broken. I'm not defective. I'm just different. I'm not less. Like in some cases, like I'm talented in some things, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm like objectively more or superior, because there's other stuff that I don't know how to do. That you may know how to do, or someone else, or someone else, or whoever else, like may know how to do. But like the thing is that like I think that our priorities and our values, like when it comes to worth and abilities, are a bit too. In the interest of not getting too deep into it, I'll just say that they're askew. I believe that they're askew. It helps me to believe that. Yeah. So the thing is that like everyone stims. It's okay. Like everyone does self stimulation, and like it could be like a number of different things. Any sort of thing that like provides a stimulus that helps to calm the sympathetic nervous system, not the parasympathetic, but like the sympathetic nervous system, which is basically your brain and your spinal cord, like your central nervous system. Um, and it's made as a and stimming is a coping strategy. It's something that is done to help like, to help us in our human bodies to stay regulated, or at least try to in the times when we can't. Like um and when I say the times that we can, I really just mean like whenever stimming doesn't like work per se, like when it doesn't completely do the trick and we're just like exceptionally overwhelmed. Either way, I'd like to share out some of my stims and some of my stimming toys. And the thing is that like I specifically say stim as opposed to fidget because this fidget has a very like negative and dismissive connotation to it. It's like the thing is that I'm not doing this to appear different and eh, to appear different for attention, because like one, it's like I am already different. I don't need any more like attention placed upon the fact that I'm different. I'm reminded of it every second of every day. And a lot of people like they just don't understand exactly. The thing is, like the word fidget just comes from a place of like misunderstanding, and it's like that's And the thing is that I'm not here to perpetuate like this overall dang near pervasive state of misunderstanding. I'm more so here to help facilitate like a new paradigm where people understand that, hey, if you're different, it's okay, and and in fact, it was never wrong. It just that society like they missed something when they decided to make like being different a crime basically, or like I'd say an unspoken crime, because it's the same thing, because like being different is the same reason that like that kids are in special ed, and that like other like creative kids often like get bullied and beat up in schools, like the back of the classroom or in the lockers, or they get teased or they get picked on or things like that. Like the thing is that like a different can take on different forms. My particular different is being autistic. However, I just needed. The thing is, I say all that because like I need to. The thing is, I need. The thing is, I say all that because I. Yeah, it helps me to let y'all to. It helps me to help y'all to understand that, to understand the reality of like what we're dealing with as a society, and how to perceive like an autistic person, because a lot of people have it all wrong. And so that said, let's get into the Stim toys, shall we? The first one I'll show is actually one that's by Tenzin is my camera, and also if this is your first video, I name everything that I own, or almost everything. Except for most of my stimming toys, actually, like in this case, they won't really have that many names. However, like my trusty fire tablet, her name is Monica. She's my note source, as well as where I keep my scripts. Now, then, the first one I want to show y'all is one that I've actually shown on this channel before. This is a sensory sticker. If you see really close, I'm not sure how close I need to get in order to help you to see this, but this sticker is actually textured. Um, Like it's got this like plastic gel feel to it, kind of like tiny little Orbeez, like in a bathtub. And the thing is that, like, and the thing is like this rougher texture, like instead of having like this smooth side or like a more smooth, because I'm touching this now and it's like it may look smooth, but like I'm feeling it, and it's like I'm so hypersensitive that I can tell that this isn't like, I wouldn't call this smooth. I would call like a laminated piece of paper smooth. I would call a paper saver smooth, you know. Um, but yeah, it's like the thing is like this rough surface and like the variations and the texture, like it helps to. It's a eh, it's a tactile stim in the sense that if you touch it, then like it can help. Then it can help you to regulate your nervous system, and so it's really, and also it has a great message on it. It's okay, even when it doesn't feel like it's okay. It's still basically okay, and if it's not, and the thing is that even if that doesn't help you in the moment, don't force. Like you don't have to force it to like help you in that moment, because something else, like an alternative of that could help you, it's is that it's and then you put the little like proofreading arrow. It's going to be okay in the end. And if it isn't okay, then it's not over yet. And so yeah. uh, and the thing is that like when I was growing up, like we didn't have specific like STEM toys. We didn't have stuff that was specifically made for stimming, and so we just like we had like anything that we could get our hands on. Like as autistic people, it's like we just stemmed. Like we would stem with like house keys. We would stim with like um we'd stim with pens. We'd stim with pencils. We'd stim with like strings. We'd stim with like switches. And in fact, it's funny because I'm a very technically minded person, and so it's like stuff with switches. It's really like helpful for me to have like controls because in both a figurative since like if I'm at the control of like a ship or an airplane or something like that, like it helps me to have like buttons and switches and different like faders and sliders and different things like that, or joysticks to help me to feel figuratively in control, but also like in effect, it also helps me to, to feel literally in control, like of my body and my sensations and my sensitivities and all these different things. And so that and so that and so that and so that leads me into my next stimming toy, which is my stimming cube. Like you've probably seen a lot of these in different places. Like this is a little close up, like one side, two side, three side, four side, and another side like this, and then like this side too. It's got these little rollers, and then it's got a little ball you can do the thing on. And so there's that. It's got a joystick, but the thing is, the joystick started like squeaking, and so I don't really use it that much because then the sound starts. It is murder on my ears, and so I don't really move the joystick all that much. But then there's like this switch thing, like and sometimes the clicking helps me, and then other times I do it like lightly, so I don't have to hear the click. Or that the click is just like lower, so it doesn't bother me as much. And then like there's like the spinny thing. I really like the spinny stuff because like my hands and because my hands and my fingers they tend to do oh excuse me, they tend to do that. Like they tend to like the spinny part, and then like these buttons and stuff. It's yep, and like yep, and three of them have clickiness, and then two of them don't, and so just works for that. And then like there's also this sort of like this part's like specifically made for anxiety. Like it has a little like divot in there, and you can rub your finger in there, and it can sort of like the 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 difference in elevation, so to speak, on this side of the cube. It sort of like it has a calming trend. It has a calming effect to it, and like and it's funny because it's like I sort of you can probably hear it in my voice. I actually feel more relaxed now. So yeah, and then I have another one that's kind of similar. The thing is, like, this is basically like it was marketed to me on Amazon as a. I'm not going to say fidget. A 12-sided stimming cube. But guess what? The thing is that if a thing doesn't, the thing is that if something doesn't have, the thing is that if something doesn't have six perfectly square sides, it's not a cube anymore. If it has 12 sides and it's a 3D object, then it's called a, then instead of, it's not even a rectangular prism. It's literally a dodecahedron, a 12-sided polyhedron. And so the thing is that like I call this my stimming dodecahedron. If it had 10, it would be my stimming decahedron. But since it has 12, it's my stimming dodecahedron. And so it has 12 sides. Like this joystick is really the one that I tend to use more because it clicks just like PlayStation controllers do, and then also it's got this like wipeout punch and ball thing that you can do with your thumb. Very, very cool. Got a nice rubbery button that has a nice click to it. Has these faders, which as a music producer, I think that's really cool. Um, Very cool. And then like it has like three of the little like wipeout ball things. Things here. Like if you're familiar with the show Wipeout, I don't think it's on TV anymore, but like it used to be on TV. If you're not familiar with it, it used to be on TV, and it was basically this obstacle course, and like dang near everyone's favorite part of the obstacle course, no matter how much they changed and altered and updated the obstacle course, there were these like big red balls that you had to like jump through, and then like it was so easy to just bounce off of them, and you had to go over water, and so if you bounced off of them you went into the water. And so that's very funny. And then it's like whenever I'm like actively playing with my stimming dodecahedron, it has this power switch like this on and off, and so it's like whenever I do it, it helps me to know that it's on. And so it's almost like, and it's like even though the button doesn't do anything, it's not like a synthesizer button or like a computer power button. The thing is that like it just helps me like in a conceptual sense. It helps me to feel like I'm not a burden to my stimming dodecahedron. It's like, yes, you turn me on, I'm here to help you, Evan. I'm here to help you to stay. And then this loop, you can put it on one of your fingers and do it this way. And then like this is like my favorite part. This little dial part right here. I mentioned it on this one, but like this part's my favorite part right here. Because it's textured on this side and it spins and it clicks and you can press it in. So cool. You got these spinners, got these like it's funny. It's funny because it almost looks like an inverse PlayStation directional pad, a D-pad. So you have those, and then as far as texture goes, you have these. I don't use this that often because it's kind of rough on me. And then you also have the sort of like anxiety, like rock divot thing there too. Very good, very relaxing. It's not as deep as my stimming cube, but still works. And then you can also put this on your thumb too. I'm not sponsored by any of these things. Personally, it might be a good idea to like try to pursue that. I try to pursue that potentially for myself, but like as of right now, like these aren't sponsored. I'm literally just telling you like it's like this is the stuff that keeps me from crying in public. And so in most cases, sometimes I still cry in public, but yeah, and you can like put it on your thumb too, like with the strap, and then you can do it that way, and then like yeah, and honestly, you can put it on like any of your fingers if you want. You can just experiment with it, and then anytime that I'm done, slash when I'm done, like working with my stimming dodecahedron, I would take the power switch and turn it off. So it's like yeah. And so this next one is like it's a it's very hey, um it's very similar to a stimming spinner, but honestly, it has a different spin on it, pun intended. um, yeah, like the thing is, like it has like these posable, like bands, and I sort of have it set up to where it's sort of like the Milky Way. It's sort of like the Milky Way galaxy, and so I do it that way because I think it's the best way. But one of them is kind of loose, so if you spin it too fast, and like one of them starts to get off, start to oscillate in the way you don't want to. Yeah, just start to get a little weird. And so in cases like that, I just sort of spin it like normally, and yeah, it typically keeps its shape. But if you want to, I hate doing this, but I'll do it for the video. Like basically, like the thing is, like you can like stretch them out, and it can basically do the same thing, and you can. But like, I think you probably need to have like slightly bigger hands or longer fingers in order for it to do it that way. because from here it's not hitting my fingers or not really, because like I have big hands, but and big long bony fingers. But either way, that's that. And and the final like proper stimming toy that I would share with y'all is actually my most adult looking one yet. This is like a premium like metal one. And I think they call it like a chaos stimming spinner. And so it has this part right here that spins around. Has this part right here that spins around. And then as you might deduce, this part also spins around. And so at first I thought and so I got it for Christmas one year. I got it for Christmas one year, and at first I thought that it was just like a and I thought hey, and I thought that you were just supposed to like hang it there and just like try to get the smaller part to spin. But actually it it's supposed to work this way. And it's kind of hard to show you because like gravity is kind of working against me if I do it this way. But oh, there we go. If I do it fast enough, it works. But yeah, like the thing is that you can see that like it's sort of spinning in a more chaotic way because this part on the end is spinning semi-independently. Like it's still experiencing this centripetal force, but like because because there's a pivot joint here, like it behaves differently than a normal stimming spinner. Yeah, so that's basically it for the toys. And then the last thing I really wanted to show you is like my secret weapon, like for personal care. It's like I don't think that there's anything wrong. I don't think that the word security blanket, eh, eh, that the term security blanket is a dirty word because honestly, um, it's been my um, um, it's been my experience and is my belief that most people in the world don't feel safe. They don't feel secure, and so it helps me like to empower myself by acknowledging that I have a security blanket and also it's weighted. So yeah, oh, sorry. Um, I'm going to try to make it so, um, I'm going to try to make it so the microphone doesn't bob very much. But yeah, and actually in a second, I think I might just take it off. But yeah, like this is my weighted blanket. His name is Minky, short for Minky Mouse, because this outer, oh, because this outer furry side feels much like a mink. Oh, hey, which is a type of fur jacket or fur coat, if you haven't heard that before. And so, yeah, there's that. And then you also have, I'm gonna take it off. Yeah. So then you also have, yeah. And so, yeah. So the thing with the weighted blanket is that you're trying to help yourself to feel contained, you know. And so it's kind of hard to do this with a microphone in my hand, but like essentially, if you do it this way, then it helps you. And then if you want more containment, you can just sort of like pull it over the back of your head and pull it over the back of your head like that. And then that's basically it. And you can pull it like this. And then if you're feeling especially worn out or especially overwhelmed, you can rock back and forth. And this is why I got a gaming chair that rocks back and forth too, because it just helps me, you know? That's cool. Yeah, we're getting to watch like Evan's self therapy session like live on YouTube. Isn't that cool? Anyways, this video is probably super dang long. Anyways, either way, I hope that this has been really helpful. I hope that you've been able to have some fun with me and I'm also learn like hopefully a number of things, but at the minimum at least one good thing that stood out to you um slash still sticks out to you hopefully. And so And also I think I might make another video like once I have enough materials like on stuff that I used to use as a kid. On just on just common stuff I used to use as a kid to help me to help me to stay regulated. Um I'm kind of upset because of what I had to do to my first stimming spinner. I'm like in order to show y'all like what it does, and so it's bothering me, and so like in order to be able to finish the video, I'm going to return it to its former glory. Hold on just a second. Won't take me that long. Yeah. Yeah, and again, I already told y'all these videos are going to be predominantly unedited, certainly unfiltered, and just direct. Because I mean the thing is that I'm hardly even trying to prove a point. I'm really just like I just like it when people are direct with me. And so it's like and so I like to be direct with people because I like it. Because I like it when people are direct with me. And so all that to say, um, that's basically it. I'm gonna take Minky off right now. And also it's cool because Minky is double sided. He's got the warm part, that's the Minky part, but then he also has like a cool part that I wish kind of stayed cooler for longer and also started off a bit cooler than it does. But either way, like really cool stuff. I think it's really amazing the way that this stuff works, and it's really just amazing the way that the human body like tends to gravitate to certain things that can help it to achieve and maintain its own sort of overall homeostasis, and in this case, like sensory homeostasis. And just it just helps to regulate. And so actually, I'm going to keep Minky on. But yeah, that's basically it. Um, I really enjoyed making this video because like I basically get to relax and I get to make a YouTube video at the same time. That's really really cool. I mean, yeah, I was definitely feeling pretty uppity like earlier before I started this after having to make a couple phone calls, and phone calls are always very stressful for me. That could be a YouTube video idea too, but either way. But yeah, all that to say, thank you for watching. If you're interested in hearing more about my experience being an autistic person, like one, let me know in a comment because again, like part of what comes with being autistic is the fact that I'm mind blind, and so it's difficult for me to tell what people are thinking unless they let me know in some sort of direct, explicit way. And a comment's a very good way of letting me know exactly what you think. And I welcome all sorts of comments. You can even do a mean comment if you want, but like the thing is though I just want connection. And the thing is that it's like I just want to know what you think. That's basically it. It's as simple as that. And so yeah, and so with that said, um I love you. I think you're amazing. Um I also think you're awesome. I'm glad that you exist among us here today. It doesn't matter when you're watching this video. I'm just glad that you're here. And alive at this moment. So, other than that, um, I'll see you soon. Bye.